You
Yeah.
keeping well?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Living in Belgium at the moment, in Antwerp, but enjoying my time here. Working hard as a manager of Beerschot. Try to do well in difficult circumstances, but I'm doing a lot of experience.
Yeah. Well, you went up last season, didn't you? Now you're trying to
Yeah,
avoid going back down. Is that right?
yeah. So we managed to be champion in the division lower, and now with a very small budget, we try to hang on. It's not so easy, but in Belgium you have the they call it the play down, so it's like the number 13 until the number 16 are playing twice against each other in a playoff system, so we still have a little chance and we try to do our best.
Yeah. So when's that all finish? When you?
We finished the regular season now,
Yeah.
and now we have the international break, and then afterwards we starting the play down system, so that's 6 games left, played in 7 weeks or something.
Okay. So are you confident, or is it against the
Well,
odds?
yeah, we are against the odds. We are, yeah, 13 points behind, but we're still trying to do our best. And actually, we have a little bit of bad luck, especially against the VAR system. So we had in the last 4 games 6 penalties against us,
Wow.
and the VAR was like, yeah, not with us. And then the day afterwards in Belgium, there's a system. The head of the referees explained all the situation, and in the last 2 games, he told actually it wasn't a penalty or some stuff like that, and that makes things horrible when you work so hard for good results and then you let down by the system. It's not the best feeling.
Now, I can imagine if that happened in the Premier League, there'd been all sorts of complaints and
Oh,
letters, and
yeah,
yeah, it'd been
yeah. Yeah,
dissected on
you
TV.
should,
Yeah.
for example, see the penalty we had against. It was from a corner kick, and there was nothing wrong. And the guy said, that our player was touching someone else in the face, and that's why it was a penalty. You should watch it. You will not believe it.
I'll try and look it up. Who was that against?
Against Westerlo, Beerschot Westerlo.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Um, well, onto present day things, and a manager who's doing quite well at the other end of the table.
Yeah.
With Arne Slot. I just wonder what you've made of. I think we've all been sort of pleasantly surprised by how well he's done in his
Yeah.
first season. How impressive have you been?
Well, first of all, I'm really happy that he is doing so well. Of course, I know him already from Holland, and especially when he was the manager at Feyenoord, where he also did an incredible job. And he managed to bring Feyenoord the championship, so that was a huge achievement. And then, the speculations were there for a long time that Arne Slot was making the step up to, one of the best leagues in the world, the Premier League. And I was really happy that it was finally Liverpool. But after Jurgen Klopp was stepping down, we all know it would be very difficult to replace him. But the way Arne has done that, it was amazing, because I think the team is playing really well, has done really well in the league so far. I think the Champions League campaign was also really impressive. I think they are a little bit unfortunate already to be out of the Champions League, but I think that's also because they faced a really good team. And still, although the game away in Paris was not the best game, I think the game at Anfield, especially the first 90 minutes, was Liverpool, I think, the better team, and they should have made their chances. But I think if Liverpool keep moving on and manage to win the league, that's something incredible. I think nobody expected it on the beginning of the season.
No, your paths wouldn't have crossed at Feyenoord. Had you already left before he arrived?
Yeah, no, I was there in the youth, and the time I left, he came. But we kind of having a close connection.
Yeah.
We've been in touch for a longer time, and also he gave me the opportunity to come and see him working 1 week from inside. So I was, I think, a couple of years ago, I was with him, seeing him and his staff training and preparing the team for important games. So that was it was great to see him from close by. Yeah, and he is what everyone is seeing from the outside. He's the same on the inside. I think, yeah, he knows the game very well. Communication wise, doesn't matter if it's to his players or to the media. He's very strong, and that makes him for me, yes, someone to watch. As a manager myself, and also because he's managing Liverpool. That's also for me an extra attention to watch him even closer.
Yeah. What's the reaction been like at home then? Because obviously Dutch managers have had mixed fortunes in the Premier League. Obviously, most recently Ten Hag, United was sort of a bit, So how has it gone down in Holland? Was it as much of a surprise to them that he'd made the step up? Because obviously it is quite a big step up from
Yeah,
Eredivisie.
no, it was a big step up for him. But as I started the conversation, there were a lot of rumors already, and I think a lot of interest for Arne Slot, not only from Liverpool but also other clubs in the Premier League, and other clubs, I think, in the big competition in Europe. So what I said, I was happy that he signed for Liverpool, but in Holland, the people were also very excited because everyone could see already in Holland that he is a very good manager. And of course, you want to see good managers working at the highest stage. And everyone is following him from close by and hoping that he's doing well, but that he was doing so well in the beginning and leading now in the Premier League was hoped, but I think unexpected. But yeah, it's great to see him doing so well. Although the result of last weekend and the result of last week, but everyone can see the impact of Arne Slot is already there, and I think that's a huge achievement so far.
Yeah, and there's a big Dutch influence within the squad as well. Now Virgil's been there a long time anyway, but
Yeah,
what he's done with Gravenberch and Cody has come on as well this season. So
yeah.
he's made a big impression with those guys.
Yeah, no, I think the impact of the Dutch people at Liverpool is huge. Not only on the pitch with the players, but also not Arne Slot, but also the other staff. So that's also good to watch for our Dutchman, Virgil van Dijk. I think the captain. I think it says for itself that he is such an important figure in the team. With Gravenberch, there was a big expectation when he was at Ajax. He went when he was very young to Bayern München, and then Liverpool managed to take him from Bayern München. And in the beginning, maybe the expectation was not so high, but from Holland, Gravenberch was also always a player with a huge expectation in the future. And I think because Arne Slot knows him so well from his time in Holland, he managed to let him play the way he liked to play the best. So I think he's doing really well. And with Cody, I always said he is a great player. He came at a difficult time at Liverpool because it's never easy, in my opinion, to come during a winter break or a winter period or winter transfer situation. And then from the first moment when Jurgen Klopp had so many injuries, Jurgen had to play him, I think, more often than he probably wished in the beginning, because you always, when you have new players, you like to give them a bit of time. But Cody didn't had that time, and it was, sometimes maybe people expect him to score more goals, but also we saw him scoring wonderful goals in the beginning against Manchester United, and now doing really, really well. And Cody is making steps, every day, every week, and doing really well. So it's great to see all the Dutchmen doing so well.
I guess one of the players he maybe hasn't had as much success as you'd like would be someone like Darwin, who seems to get criticised every week for something he either does do or doesn't do.
Yeah.
not scoring enough goals is probably the main criticism, which obviously as a big money centre forward, he would be expected to do. What do you make of what he's done and where he is? Because I'm not equating the two situations, but I guess when you came to Liverpool, maybe you were criticised slightly for not scoring. You were brought in as a forward and maybe didn't score as many goals as people thought you might do, but you had other attributes to the game. So how do you see Darwin's present and future?
Well, I think it's slightly different than when I was there because in my first season, I managed to be the top club goal scorer of the season. But what is the same is that when you sign for Liverpool and when you are a striker, people just want you to score goals. And when then you have a teammate like Mo Salah or in my time Fernando Torres, then these guys are making goals so easily that of course all the other people, the supporters want you to make as many goals as well. And I think Darwin is pushing himself very hard, sometimes doing very well, sometimes not scoring the goals probably he wants himself as well. And that makes it sometimes difficult because the pressure is always so big. And actually, I've also saw the criticism of the media, and that's normal when you don't score at Liverpool. That's something you have to cope with. But actually, a couple of weeks, I thought he was a little bit over that hill, scoring goals and being important. And then it's just really unfortunate that he couldn't do that. For example, in the game against Paris Saint-Germain or the game in the weekend against Newcastle, because these kind of games you need to score the goals to make really the difference as a striker and to come over that hill to get the momentum and score more goals. But still, for me, he's a quality player who, at the moment, probably wants to score goals just as much as all the other people want it. But it's not always easy, especially when the pressure is on.
Mm. And there's been talk that this might be his last season, and if he doesn't, or he hasn't delivered, he might have to moved on. What would, from what you see as a manager and as a former player, do you think Arne can still get something out of it? Do you think he has a longer term future at Liverpool?
Well, there's the funny thing that when at my time, when I was at Liverpool, I became friends with Pepper Reiner, the goalkeeper. And after the first season, he congratulated me with the fact I was 1 year at Liverpool. And he said, actually, every year you can stay at Liverpool. It's a championship of your own. Because not only, the players who are there trying to kick you out of the team, and there is a big competition between the squad players, but also every year probably there comes someone on your place. And I played the first season with Bellamy and Kraus, and I had to fight with them. And just like I said, I was the club top goal scorer, and I thought, okay, I will be okay for next season. And then the club signed Fernando Torres for 20 plus million. So that means that you always have to be at your best to stay at Liverpool. And that's for every player needs to perform day in, day out. And if you're not performing, someone else will be ready to fill up your place. And that's why Liverpool is such a great club. That it's not always easy to stay in your position and that you have to fight for it. So there will be always rumors, but at the end of the day, the player decides himself if he will stay or not. Because in my opinion, there's no better place than Anfield at the moment. But of course, the players want to play. And what I think, if you know Arne Slot a little bit, day in, day out, every training, every day, he tried to push Darwin so hard to get the best out of himself. So we will never stop doing that. And then at the end of the day, the player decides himself if he will play or not, because you have to perform.
And you sort of said it earlier. I mean, the fact that Mo's scoring goals like he did in his first season here and has scored so many, it almost, when he doesn't score, it puts the pressure on everybody else. And maybe when he was in that front three with Firmino and Mane, there were players there who would score those extra goals. Whereas this season, certainly in the league, I think the sort of Cody's maybe got 9 in the league. So there's quite a big gap between what Salah's doing at 27 in the league and then what everybody else is doing. So it puts a bit of extra pressure on those players to deliver when he doesn't.
Actually, I don't think there was so much pressure, but when you are a top club like Liverpool and you're not winning against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League and you're not winning the final in the weekend, then the pressure comes on, and that's something what will be always be there. As long as you're winning, people are happy. As soon as you lose, people start to look at the numbers, at the details, and the pressure comes on, and that's what Liverpool need to cope with now. The bad thing is that they are out of the Champions League and that they're not win the final. But the good thing is that they can completely focus on the Premier League now. So I'm confident. Everyone will step up and score his goals. Even though when Nunez, if he keeps going, and that's what I say, Arne Slot will push all his front players to score goals. And if you look to these quality of the players, they have it all in them to do so.
And on Mo, as a player who kept themselves really fit later in their career, how much more has he got left in him? Obviously, there's obviously talk about whether he will get his contract extended or how long Wishon can go on at the age of 33. What I mean, we've all seen how he's performed this season, how fit he is. So, do you think he can carry on at this level for a bit longer?
Yeah, I think nowadays the players are even more fit than, let's say, 5 or 10 years ago. They work so hard for it. And that's the crazy thing is that Mo, it looks all so easy what he's doing, and he works so hard every game. And when you play for Liverpool, you have to play every 3-4 days. So because it looks so easy, people think it's easy to keep going like that. But if I look to Mo Salah, he's still so hungry to score goals. If you watch his face from close up after the game of Paris Saint-Germain, he was so disappointed not to score other goals. But the quality he shows day in, day out, on and off the pitch. Also, people watch him a lot in attack, how he scored the goals, how important he is. But also, if you see his work rate in defense, so that shows me that I think he can still play a huge part of the nearby future of Liverpool.
So finally, just to wrap it up then for you, Dirk, I think we're all sort of expecting the Premier League title to be secured at some point with the lead they've got at the moment. Just how big an achievement will that be? Obviously, the last one they won, they ran away with it in the COVID season and then had to wait 3 months to finish it off and did it behind closed doors without fans. So for it to do it in front of fans this season, we're assuming they will do. How big an achievement will that be?
Well, it will be a massive achievement, first of all, for Arne Slot, but also, for the players, because everyone is part of this success. And even, I think, still Jurgen Klopp is a little bit part of the success because he left, I think, a very good team for Arne Slot. And nobody expected this, and that makes it, I think, very special. And also, what you said, to celebrate the championship behind a closed door in a very difficult time for everyone. Actually, this one will be massive, and everyone know what will be the reaction in Liverpool if they manage to achieve it. But I think the focus now will be just winning the next games, because it's the Premier League. There are no easy games, and you have to really deserve this championship. And I think they do, but there's still a way to go for them.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, keep fingers crossed it all goes swimmingly for them. So always a pleasure to speak to you, Dirk.
Yeah, nice to speak to you too.
Chats in the mix zone. So are you looking forward to seeing all the guys again?
Yeah, no, I am looking really forward to the weekend. It's just once a year we see each other, but it always feels like like we are still like a team, like back in the days. And it's always really good to be back in Liverpool. So it's my city, and I love to come back more often. But I'm very happy that that I'm coming the weekend.
Perfect. Thank you. Saying always a pleasure to speak to you, Dirk. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you.